Welcome to all the viewers of CxO Story by LinkCxO. Every week we are featuring leaders from across industries. Today we have somebody even more special. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited for this episode. Your host Vinay Rao with our very special guest Gauttam Chhabra. Welcome Gautam.
Hi, Vinay.
Thank you so much for taking time out for this particular podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy to be in corporate, but imagine being in the healthcare and being a founder, the founder of Axton Hospital, Gautam with us today. Gautam, without much delay, you have had a long journey in various healthcare industries. How did Axton start off? What was the story behind it?
I started around 18 years back into healthcare, and all in all, I'm just managing building hospitals, not only in India, but places where there's actually no healthcare, like
Mm-hmm.
countries like Uzbekistan, Afghanistan. So we made hospitals there. So all this while, I was into job at that particular time, and I will keep on collecting what is the shortcomings in the healthcare system, what more we can improve. But when you're into job, you actually cannot do much. It's the guideline which you need to follow. So since then, I was finding one question which was always there is the opaque pricing in healthcare. That's
Mm-hmm.
not only in India, but I think all around healthcare, the price for surgeries are never been fixed. And if you see the doctors who are working, their surgeon charges are not being fixed because it depends on insurance, how much money will come in. Insurance prices also differs, cash prices also differ. So we actually want to standardize it. If the hotels can be standardized, if other things can be standardized, why not healthcare? So that's how we founded Extern Hospitals with a vision to standardize the pricing model for the patient so that the transparency of what they exactly gonna pay after the surgery that should be there. So our website shows entire process like how to choose a surgery, who will be a doctor, what will be your price, how your room looks like, and you can book it straight away at your convenience time as well. So if you want to get surgery on a weekend, you can book it on a weekend.
Wow, that's wonderful to know that in the healthcare space, there's going to be so many transparency coming up shortly, thanks to you and the team of people who are working with you. Tell us more about how did the transition to entrepreneurship happened and having healthcare setups outside India too. How was the journey like?
So since the last 18 years I was into healthcare, as I told you, my journey was majorly with doctors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And doctors, it's always been frustrated when they're going to different hospitals to operate. Like they never know what exactly the hospital gonna charge to patient, because usually the patient goes to doctor. Doctor is a belief by which patient comes into the hospital. But when hospital doesn't have the pricing structure, the care structure, and the other thing which fails, the
Mm-hmm.
exact the trust on the doctor is like goes off by the patient.
Yeah.
So I discuss it with doctors, we always had a discussion that what model you should prefer. So by talking to doctors and the patient, we jot down that what exactly model it should be so that doctors and patients get comfortable. That's how we started Action Hospitals.
Okay, great to know more about Axton Hospital. And from a strategy and leadership point of view, if I may ask, what's a decision that you have made where it symbolizes good leadership? Because as a leader, how you've taken certain tough decisions in your recent past.
So this is my first startup.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been into jobs, so yeah, for me everything is difficult. So, but with time, that I always decided people that these are the people when I start my own hospital. I always want these guys to be with me. So, like there's Dr. Satish, there are few doctors who is there with me from day one, even when we didn't have money. So when we finalized our first hospital, we thought that from where we got the money in, right? So that's how the team was always been there. So with these guys I've started, but then we've used some platform. There's a bit struggle when we use these this Naukri.coms and other ways. So through that the struggle was there, but yeah, but somehow the God has been kind that we found a team, and doctors network was always been there when I was working in past. So that's how we created a team, and the doctors were there.
And being your first startup and about 18 plus years of work experience, I'm sure you're very passionate about what you're currently doing. If you could tell us anything which was perhaps a not so successful or a failed initiative which you must have done where we can have some learning from it.
So I started a doctor search platform long back when there was no Android and there was no much of internet usage. At the BlackBerry time I'm talking about.
Oh,
So
wow.
we made an app called Sunlight Health at that particular time, which was there for the BlackBerry users. But when we launched, there was a sudden transition from BlackBerry to Android. but the technology was so different that we're not able to transfer that entire thing to Android, and we have to shut down. But yeah, that experience was great, and technology has always been my first love other than healthcare. So I always wanted to start a healthcare platform, a healthcare startup which involves technology. So now also our hospital is all technology enabled. A patient doesn't have to wait too much. A patient doesn't have to wait for the insurance approvals. They go back home instantly just because with the help of technology we brought in.
Great. I mean, perhaps you were ahead of your time during the BlackBerry era to come out with the
Right.
Sunlight app, and then now we are all adapting to so much of ever-changing technology. So that's where my next segment is about growth and innovation. Where do you see the biggest untapped opportunity in your market, in the healthcare industry?
So right now the entire healthcare is not standardized, not structured. Every hospital operates with their own SOPs, right? But if you see the other industries, how they evolved, how they're standardized, I think now it's time for healthcare. And
Hmm.
especially with the AI which is coming in, the processes
Yes.
are getting smoother. It is getting more authentic, more transparent. Like patient at home sitting, uploading the report to an AI can see the summary that what exactly problem they are facing, and after that they can reach to a doctor. And when doctor tells them, they can actually trust. But earlier, when you go to a doctor, doctor tells you, okay, this is the problem. They actually see, okay, I should take a second opinion before going out for a surgery. So I think now it's a time for healthcare to get standardized and more transparent for everybody with the help of technology, the innovation which is happening, and the machinery which is coming in. You keep on hearing the robotic surgeries, which is like the doctor is miles away and operating on a patient which is in a village. So the standardization of care, the technology, everything is getting on the next step.
Very well said. Very well putting your thoughts on that. Somebody who enjoys innovation, healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gautam with us, continuing with our series. In terms of decision making, how do you handle situations where data conflicts with intuition? How do you marry the both?
So we as a team, we all had our rules defined, right? So
Mhm.
I keep on, we always have weekly meetings. We always take a suggestion, a person who's handling that particular team. So the decision making lies to that particular person, but we always have a suggestions around it. See, all the top management sits and we have a discussion with the center head of what is the problem at the center and how that should be resolved. So I always want to empower the head, the staff, that they should think by their own and how the problem can be solved. Because I cannot be available at all the hospitals, but we always want the standardization of care which needs to be provided to patients. So the I think the empowerment to the staff is one thing which helped me a lot, and the discussions and the brainstorming sessions which we have every week, that actually makes everybody on the same line, that how we think they actually started thinking that way. So I think everybody is a owner at our space, and they solve their problem themselves now.
And how do you manage to ensure that diverse perspectives are considered? Is it weekly meetings, daily stand ups? What is it that keeps you all going together?
I think that's data. Whatever data which is coming in front, everybody agrees on that. There is no bias, like unbiased or biased opinions. Everything is front of everybody. If the center is not performing, and we are holding of a center head that your center is not working that much, that is a data which is speaking. So I think data is the first thing which always been categorized, like how like what our next step will be, what the next strategy would be, and like how we can improve.
And how do you identify and develop future leaders? You being a leader yourself, how do you ensure that the next level is already getting groomed?
So I think that the thing which I told you, that you need to empower the person. If it feels that they have the authority to take decisions, no matter they're taking right or wrong, but you need to back your staff, you need to empower them and tell them just do it. Only then they can be a leader, I think. Otherwise, that's always been an employee and a boss kind of relationship which we actually don't follow at Axton. So every person who is maybe it's a marketing manager, if he's going to a market, he's doing some commitment to a doctor. Maybe it's a wrong commitment, but we always fulfill it so that he feels like, oh, I'm being backed, and okay, if my decision is there, it's been followed. So yeah, empowering the staff for sure.
From a culture and people perspective, I'm sure in the healthcare and many other domains too, empathy is something which we all look forward to from our leaders. What is your style? Is it always data backed, or is it empathy, or how do you manage this?
So data is the first thing for sure. We always start our conversations with data. But if the situation is for the empathy, we go for empathy. If the situation is go okay, we need to follow the structure, the protocols which we made, we go with that. So it depends situation to situation, but yeah, the first thing is data for sure.
And from a business and execution perspective, how do you prioritize when everything feels urgent?
That's a everyday scenario actually. when
Oh,
when I
that's
see
every
my
scenario.
when I see my to-do list, there's a star button that you need to prioritize. The thing goes up when you put on a star. So when I try and do that, I think everything is important. How should I do it? But now with time, I learned that I should do one thing at a time, which is urgent, like which is deciding my tomorrow's scenario. So if something is affecting my tomorrow's or day after tomorrow's work, that I do first. Maybe it is signing an agreement, maybe it's tying up with a doctor, maybe I need to go and meet somebody. So I do one by one as per the situation which is affecting my the early day. So that is a strategy I'm following these days.
So to all my viewers, make sure in your to-do list you put a star so that you know that's priority. That's Gautam's to-do
Right.
list, which we need to manage and perhaps imbibe too. From an industry and future outlook, Gautam, what major shift will redefine your industry in the next 5 years? What do you foresee?
The AI, that's I think that's the future. The diagnostics, if I talk about, that has been so much improved. Earlier, we always used to depend on a doctor that they see that X-ray film like this, and then they'll have their own experience and their own study, and that's how they make reports. But now, when you upload that report on a system, the AI behind that particular X-ray system that reads and compares that film with thousands of other films which is of a similar type, and that gives a report. But that somebody will still go to a doctor have their own intelligence on that, and that's how the report has been made. That really helps doctor that we should go ahead with a surgery or not. Earlier, I think the older time it was more of a guesswork, but now it is more like backed by data, backed by the intelligence and the machine learning which is there. So I think the healthcare is improving and will improve more with time, and will have more precisions on the reports and the decision making of doctors. Like if you talk about cancer these days, somebody has an opinion to do chemotherapies before surgery, but some surgeons say we should do after surgery. But we follow what doctor says, because even doctors have the cancer starts from the radio diagnosis. So if the radio diagnosis has been so precise that the doctor exactly knows the where's the tumor, what should I do, what is the protocol, that decision making becomes fast and precise. So I think yeah, the healthcare will be more advanced, more transparent, more technologically backed, more intelligence backed. So that will be much easier and good for patients, and even the treatment will be faster. The patient doesn't have to wait to get the diagnosis done by two doctors, three doctors. It will be more faster.
Very, very, insightful information for all of us to understand how the hospital chains work, or what exactly can bring along transparency as we move forward. Gautam,
Right.
what keeps you optimistic about the future?
It's been my daily job in all these years. What I say to everybody, healthcare is the only thing which I know. I'm doing it from 18 years. I've not done anything else. So yeah, healthcare always keeps me excited, and the transition which is happening, I think that is the way we all have to be updated. We have to adapt the technology. We need to make smart hospitals now. That's a good time, and the future is going towards the small hospitals now, because everybody now wants care. The money is not a problem in today's healthcare, but the care and the surgery care, aftercare is. So people are scared to go to a corporate hospital these days because they're one in thousand. But when you go to a smaller hospital, you are one in ten. So the care level goes really high. And technology wise, the machines are being so compact that even a small hospitals can afford that machines and can even use that machines at their hospitals. So it's no more like only corporates have that big technologies or the other thing, which that for that you only have to go to a big hospital. Now that the iteration and the transition is now happening.
And something from a personal insight perspective, which all of us would be very keen to know from somebody in the veteran from the healthcare industry. How do you manage stress and burnout?
So I start my day with my yoga, and but during the day I always take a break after 2 hours, which my watch reminds me. And after 2 hours for 5 minutes, I always close my eyes and relax myself. No matter there's stress or no not, but I still do it. So I think that keeps me cool, calm, and going always.
And who has influenced your leadership style the most?
When I started my job, there was a hospital, Sama Hospital. I was with them for good 15 years. I started, learned, groomed myself from there. So the owner of that hospital, Dr. 𝗵𝗂𝘁𝗍, so he's an orthopedic surgeon himself. We like very intelligent guy, always doctor plus MBA, was into management. So I started my career with him. So
Mhm.
he was always been like an idol for me. So I learned from him and I wanted to be like him. But with time, I started my own company. I always had a dream to start my own hospital. So that after 15 years, I had a discussion with him that I really want to now do it. Then also he backed me and he said, okay, you should go ahead and I know you will do well. So yeah, so he's the guy I always looked upon.
And what advice would you give to your younger self if you go back in time about 15, 18 years down the lane?
Sorry,
What's the
sorry, I didn't
advice that
understand.
you would give your younger self?
So I actually started when I was very young. So I think I'm not afraid of what I've done. So I think yeah, I would have done same if I have to repeat it. So my journey was good. I've not struggled that much. I've always been into good place. I've learned, and that's how that's all practical experience which helped me to be here, like and how to start a hospital, how to talk to a like when I started, I was 18 years old when I started my first job. It was immediately after the school. I did my graduation from correspondence, and with that, I used to do job
Mhm.
at a hospital itself. So yeah, that learning was there, and I think that time made me what I am today. So yeah, no regrets. I still say I would have done same if I get chance again to do it.
And what is the three tips that you would like to give fellow entrepreneurs, irrespective of which industry they belong
I think they should start when you think it's the right time. You need to be backed by data that what we are doing it's the right thing, and plan to do fundraise at the particular time when you feel you will finish your money off,
to?
because that is a major decision which will keep you going. So we had the entire plan that when we'll start, at what time we'll start looking for raising funds, and at what particular time we need to close that round. So that all was planned before even we started our first hospital. So I think planning was the key. Otherwise, because in day to day job there's lot of things which will keep you like they're gonna kill you with your thoughts and everything, because there's so much going on every day. So I think that planning needs to that's the important thing, that the first thing you should do when you're planning to start something.
So your tip for startup and entrepreneurs would be that planning is the key, and then make sure before burnout you're in a position to have funding for the
Right,
organization or for
right.
your team.
That's the fuel for your startup, I think.
And I come to the last segment of our discussion. It's more of a fun and engaging session with you, Gautam. More of a rapid fire.
Uh-huh.
One word to describe your leadership style.
Cool and calm.
Cool and calm wins the race. Great. And one book that changed your perspective.
Minimalistic. I started staying away from the social media. I think that helped me to stay more focused.
Wow, so you're an anti-social media guy. Wonderful.
Not anti, but yeah, I've started spending much less time what I used to do earlier.
And one biggest myth about being a startup owner or a founder. What is the biggest myth?
That you can make a good startup after failing for 10, 20, 14. I think that's not the case. You
Mhm.
can make the first startup like a success story for you.
Oh, I'm sure you definitely would make a great success of Axton Hospital. One morning routine, is it very strict or is it flexible in your case?
So from Monday to Saturday strict, but Sunday it's all flexible.
Wow, that's good to know. One skill every future leader must learn.
See a lot of YouTube videos around what you are doing.
Mhm.
Learn and keep learning.
And any favorite movie which you like to keep watching again and again?
So movies I watch for my fun. So I'm a big fan of 𝗓𝗄 Khan. So I see what all movies what they've done and I keep on seeing on loop.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good to know that you're a Shah Rukh fan.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's data-driven Shah Rukh fan Gautam Chhabra, the founder of Axton Hospital. Thank you so much, and keep watching more of our episodes as we progress in this year. Thank you once again to your host Vinay, and of course to our guest Gautam Chhabra. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you so much.